Hey everybody, it's Matt here from pianoblog.com. It's time for me to answer a piano question, and this question is from Sriram, who is a pianoblog.com reader. Sriram asked, basically paraphrasing here, I'm a college student, I've just discovered the piano and I'm really into it, but I want to know if I really need a teacher to be good at the piano. I want to know if I need a teacher to study with a piano teacher to progress at the piano, or whether I can just learn off watching YouTube and watching videos and stuff like that. And so this is kind of a question you hear fairly often, I'd say. And Sriram, it really depends on the context of what you're looking for. I mean, if you're looking to just sit down and play every once in a while, there's a good chance you can teach yourself a lot of things on your own. A lot of people take up piano lessons for different reasons. So some people take up piano lessons just because they want to interact with the piano teacher once a week. It's actually not that uncommon, especially as adults. They just want something that's, getting them away from work, getting them away from the other things going in their life, and they see piano, whether they're right or wrong about it, piano is kind of something that they can do that's maybe a stress-free relief from the rest of life. Now, whether piano lessons are always stress-free can maybe be another question. But, that's one reason that people take piano lessons. Another really good reason people take piano lessons is that they feel they need that feedback every week, and they also need someone to kind of push them. And this is sort of the personal trainer type effect of piano lessons, having somebody there to make sure that you're practicing every week. And I'll tell you, even my very best piano students, as well as a lot of performers, will say if they don't have something on the calendar, in this case a weekly lesson, they just won't practice. So if you're trying to make it some sort of hobby that's even a little bit serious where you'd like to be consistent, then it's probably a good idea to have a good piano teacher. Now, another really excellent reason to take piano lessons, and probably the most important reason, is if you're going to make this anything other than just sitting down and playing a few chords at the piano, and you want to progress to a certain point where you have some aptitude and can play maybe some late intermediate or early advanced or even advanced level stuff, you have to understand that piano, especially for adults, is a more long-term thing than people anticipate. I'm not sure why this is, but it's pretty common to see piano students start as adults thinking, oh, within a few months I'll be able to play, some fairly substantial rep. And of course, some people come at the piano with more talent or more musical background. It really depends on where they're coming from. But in general, I think people underestimate the amount of work and time it takes until you can play, say, Beethoven sonata or something like that. I mean, for most people, we're talking about years of consistent study and practice, because while a good pianist might make it look easy to play the piano, in truth, it's not such an easy thing in terms of just the amount of work and dedication it takes to get to a certain level. So obviously not everyone, or even close to everyone, is trying to get to Carnegie Hall. But if you want piano to be something where in 2 or 3 years' time you see yourself progressing to a point where you can play substantial parts of the rep, I would say for sure it's worth looking into getting a teacher. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't study things on your own. The best kind of students are the ones who take your advice seriously when you're teaching, but also are very interested in learning things. And so, there's a fine balance, of course, if your teacher is telling you to do things one way and some person off the internet's telling you to do things another way. There's a fine balance between knowing kind of what you ought to do, and a lot of that depends on whether you have a good teacher, because there is, quite frankly, a lot of crap on the internet. I hate to say. But if you do have a good teacher, it's someone that can guide you, it will really be helpful down the road, because you'll start to develop good habits that'll pay off, say 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. And as I talk about in a lot of my technique courses, and I've talked about online on articles and on YouTube and whatever, Having a good teacher and developing those good techniques is something that you may not realize is helpful until after a few years has passed. And I can't count the number of times I've had adult students come to me who are self-taught and have bad habits because of it. So if that's something you want to do, if you see in your future yourself being able to sit down and play some things with relative ease, for sure I would get a teacher. And of course, having a good teacher, even if you're really taking things lightly, is going to help you learn quicker no matter what your goals are. So even if you just want to play a few pop tunes, having a good teacher there to help guide you through it is probably going to be a quicker process than trying to sit down and reinvent the wheel yourself. So there are a lot of reasons to take lessons, and there are some good reasons not to take lessons. It all depends on your context and what you want. If you have questions for me, ask them here. I'll also give you a link to pianoblog.com below this video, and I love to hear from my viewers and readers, and I'll see you in the next video.